In 2015, Stephanie Scott was a well-known, loved and respected 26-year-old schoolteacher in the Australian town of Leeton, New South Wales, a small town with a population of just 11,000. April 5th, 2015 was supposed to be Stephanie's day off, where she had worked at Leeton High School as an English and drama teacher. But in just 6 days, she was due to marry her high school sweetheart, Aaron Leeson Woolley, so was busy preparing lesson plans for her replacement ahead of her honeymoon. She was extremely passionate about her job and cared for her students, not wanting their learning to be disrupted while she was away, hence why she'd arrived early to school that Easter Sunday morning. Later that evening, Aaron had tried to call Stephanie, but when he did not receive an answer, he figured that his soon-to-be wife was still engrossed in her work. Hours went by, and Aaron once again tried to reach Stephanie, but to no avail. Concerned, he drove down to the school, but Stephanie's car was nowhere to be seen. Aaron called around Stephanie's friends to see if they had heard from her, but they had also not spoken to Stephanie that day. Aaron returned home, spending the rest of the night constantly checking his phone, hoping to receive a response from his fiancée. By the next morning, when Stephanie had still not returned home, Aaron contacted her parents to inform them that he didn't know where she was, and that this behaviour was very out of the ordinary for Stephanie. Aaron and Stephanie's parents decided to phone the police and report her missing. News of her disappearance spread quickly throughout the small town, and a Facebook post containing the young woman's photo and description was shared thousands of times on the first day. Local residents came together to assist in the search for Stephanie. Due to the low crime rate, it was popular belief at the time that Stephanie may have rolled her car and would soon be found injured on the side of a road or by the side of a creek. As the hours turned to days, many soon turned their beliefs to the possibility that the young woman may have gotten cold feet about getting married and may have left of her own accord. Despite this, the police were relentless in searching for Stephanie and turned their sights to where she had last been seen. They inquired who was in the school with Stephanie that day. The principal confirmed that he had seen one of the school's cleaners there during the Easter break. This was a 24-year-old man named Vincent Stanford. Police soon tracked Vincent down to the home where he lived with his mother. After being asked where he had been the day that Stephanie vanished, Vincent claimed to have been at the supermarket. The police left and went to see if his story checked out, but were soon made aware that this supermarket closed every Easter Sunday. The police returned to Vincent's home to bring him in for further questioning. His mother answered the door and claimed that he wasn't in, but told them that they were free to search his room. Upon searching his bedroom, they discovered handcuffs that were covered in blood, a bra, and a set of keys that Stephanie would have used to gain access to the school that day. Vincent soon returned home and told police that he had been out taking photographs of the town on his mobile phone. Police asked if they could see these photos, and Vincent agreed. As police flicked through the phone, they stumbled upon graphic images of a human body that had been badly burned. Police asked Vincent what these images were. He replied that they were just photos taken from a horror film that he had downloaded onto his phone. With all of this evidence, Vincent was arrested on suspicion of murder on the 7th of April 2015. A worker at the school also came forward the day after Stephanie went missing. They said that on that Monday, Vincent seemed to have unusual scratches on his face. The co-worker asked Vincent if he had seen Stephanie, to which he had replied that he had not seen her recently. The co-worker then expressed his views that Stephanie had probably run away due to the pressure of her wedding, to which Vincent then let out a strange laugh. On the 10th of April, the day before the young couple had been due to be married, Vincent shocked police by making a startling confession. He admitted that he had been the one behind Stephanie's disappearance. the disturbing events of that day were soon revealed. Vincent, who had stalked several young women prior to Stephanie's disappearance, had seen her at high school preparing lessons in the staff room that day whilst he was cleaning. He had quickly drove home to the house that he shared with his mother and collected what he called a rape kit before returning to Leeton High School. As he arrived back to the school, the pair bumped into each other and Stephanie had said to him, "I'm going home now, have a lovely Easter." However, as she tried to open the metal gate at the school's entrance, Vincent grabbed her and pulled her into a storeroom, threw her onto the ground and locked the door. He told police that he then made her remove her clothing before sexually assaulting her. After doing so, he punched her over 30 times, rendering her unconscious. He then stabbed her in the neck with a knife, aiming for her arteries, in his words, to make sure she was dead. After the brutal murder, Vincent returned home and made himself something to eat. Later on, he returned to the school to clean up. He bagged up Stephanie's body and shoved her into the boot of her own car, before driving Stephanie's car to his house where he hid it for the night. In the early hours of Easter Monday, he drove Stephanie's car to Coco Para National Park, around 70 kilometres northeast of Leeton, where he removed her body, placed several branches over her, and set her remains alight. Before doing so, he had stolen Stephanie's graduation and engagement rings from her finger. Shockingly, he then took pictures of her burnt remains. Before returning home, he dumped Stephanie's car in a field and then posted Stephanie's rings to his twin brother Marcus for him to sell. Marcus agreed, later pawning the jewellery at an Adelaide jewellery store for $705. Vincent then returned to his normal life, attending work as usual until the police finally caught up with him. Stephanie's body was found the day that Vincent confessed to the crime. Vincent explained his motive to police, stating that he had a deep desire to kill since he was 7 years old. He also stated that he did not have any remorse or feel guilt for what he had done, and claimed, "This is just the way that I'm arranged." Upon carrying out a search of Vincent's computer, police came across searches for sexual assault videos and even one that contained dead bodies. They also found searches for serial killer knives, and in Vincent's journal, they discovered a shocking plan to abduct and murder a 12-year-old girl. There were also logs of the day-to-day activities of women in the town who he had been stalking. At this court trial, it came to light that Vincent had a long history of violence. When he was just 12 years old, he had choked a teacher, resulting in him being expelled from school and placed in a mental health facility for months. On April 11th, 2015, what was supposed to be Stephanie's wedding day, her heartbroken fiancé Aaron, along with Stephanie's loved ones, had a memorial picnic for Stephanie. They all wore yellow, Stephanie's favourite colour, and released balloons in tribute to her. In April 2015, Marcus Stanford, Vincent's twin brother, admitted to assisting his brother in concealing the crime in the days and weeks after Stephanie's death, including receiving a number of items belonging to her in the mail and later pawning them. He was sentenced to 15 months in jail for being an accessory to the crime and was released on September 9th, 2016. Marcus and his father Steve have since moved to a country town in New South Wales after they were run out of their former home when the constant abuse from locals became too much. On October 13th, 2016, Vincent Stanford appeared in Sydney's Central Local Court after being extradited from South Australia. He pled guilty to murder and was sentenced to 15 years in jail for aggravated sexual assault, followed by a life sentence for the murder. He will likely never be released from prison. 5 years on from Stephanie's murder, her heartbroken fiancé was able to find love again. In April 2020, Aaron announced on Facebook that he was now engaged to be married to another local of the small Riverina town, Samantha Cirillo. Stephanie's father has since spoke about the fate of his beloved daughter. "When you die, I don't know what happens really, but you leave this body and our spirit is what goes on. She had plenty of spirit, so whatever happens, she should be in the best place possible because she had one of the best spirits you've ever come across."